All right. Hi guys. Give me just a second. I've got to figure out this camera. There we go. Great. So I'm going to go over how to construct a median. And if you remember, median means bisected bases. So what we need to figure out is like, okay, the median that goes from B to point D. So basically what I would do is I want to start at B and go all the way to this base, which means I need to know what the middle of this base is. So because I have no other reference point to figure out where the middle is, I need to bisect this twice. So now what we might have to do is it might kind of intersect triangles, but what I want to do is hopefully you can see this. I need to keep the same radius I did on this side. So I've got this radius here, and then I'll keep that same thing, put it on point A, bisect it there, and then I'm going to connect it to the middle. And what that does for me is that tells me what the middle point is. Now this is not my median. This is point D, but to finish up drawing the median, I'm going to go from B to D. That's it. So there is BD. And BD is the median of the triangle because we've shown and constructed in a way that we know it bisects the base. Great, so the same thing for the next one. We want median EG. Now here's the thing about median EG. Here's E. Now I'm actually going to change this, and I know you're going to do your homework a different way. I'm going to change this to FG. Now you don't actually need to do this in your homework, but I want to talk about this. If I ask you to construct median FG, that needs to come from point F. And if it comes from point F, what that means is that I need to construct the median this way, which means this is the base I want to bisect. So likewise, I would have some arc here. I'm going to use that same arc on this side, which means that I need to go back and make this intersected. And then same thing, take some arc length here, put it here. I would draw that through. And that shows me that that is G right there. And then I would connect it right to the middle. Now, again, I know this asked you for EG, but I'm showing you in case you know on the quiz, I ask you to construct a median in a different way. Make sure you don't get used to just going to the bottom. So same thing on this one. I'm going to construct altitude AD. Now again, if I'm trying to construct an altitude, I want it to go through A and go down to the base. So first thing I'm going to do is I need to get some reference point to bisect from, because I need to know that these are equidistant, the places where they cross the line from point A. So now all I need to do now is put my compass there. And it doesn't have to be the original length you use, so you can make it shorter, longer, whatever. And it's because like this one, where I needed 2 points and able to draw my line, I know that I want my altitude to come straight down right here. That makes a right angle, and then I could call this AD. Now, likewise, I'm going to change this one again, and I'm going to construct altitude YF. Actually, no, I'm going to keep it with XF. Now, hypothetically, let's say I had asked for YF. YF needs to go to, actually, that's not a good example. So if I'm thinking about XF, here's X, I need to make it go completely 90 degrees to the base. So kind of unlike this one, it's not going to connect to the middle. So this one's a little bit easier to visualize. I need to draw a point that goes directly down to the base, which means I need to extend my line out. Then I'm going to draw my circle from there. So I'll make it a little lengthier. If you can see, I've drawn that circle, and now I'm just going to bisect from there. So I would bisect from this point right here We'll call this K. I'll call this L. So I'm going to bisect from K, bisect from L, if I can get my compass to work. And now all I need to do is connect up to X. And there's my right angle right there. And we'll call this XF. So XF is the altitude. Now, let's say that I had something like this, where it says altitude BD. This is where you got to think about it a little bit more. So here's B. So maybe, and I know I want it to go over here. So maybe I turn this around so we can visualize a little bit easier what BD would look like. I would draw my swoop. I'm going to bisect from there. 1, if you can see it, 1, and then I'm going to connect straight down. And there is BD. Kind of hard to see, but again, let's say I wanted to construct A, you would have to come down, extend this out. Let's say I wanted to construct C, we'd probably put C at the top. Now C is a little bit harder to visualize, but that one would be tricky. C would be the same way. You'd have to move it out, move this out here and construct it down. So hopefully that was helpful, and good luck studying for your quiz tonight.